Hello everyone, Shazam here again with a new video. Now I know, despite what I said at the end of my previous video, I'm recording this one before uploading the Sage Mode video. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the most complicated and debatable topics in the anime, and that's genjutsu. So what is genjutsu? Genjutsu is a fighting style demonstrated in an individual targeting the chakra flow through the cranial nerves of the enemy by pouring chakra into it, thus controlling their 5 senses. Most of the time, it does no physical damage, but rather confuses the enemy or gives them hallucinations, which in some cases leaves them mentally damaged and or tricked. It's also an advanced ninja technique, and it's implied to be heavily associated with yin release. Like ninjutsu and taijutsu, genjutsu has many types. Most common are visual and sound genjutsu. First, I'm gonna be talking about visual genjutsu. When this type of genjutsu is mentioned, the first thing that comes to mind is the Sharingan, which is an Uchiha Kekkei Genkai that has 2 default abilities: perception and illusion. Uchihas are feared for their visual genjutsu, and it only gets much stronger with the evolved form of the Sharingan, the Mangekyo Sharingan. Sharingan can only counter visual genjutsu, by the way. However, visual genjutsu isn't always applied through the eye of the caster, but could also be used in other ways, like a finger, which Itachi used on Naruto when Naruto looked at his finger. But those types of genjutsu aren't as strong as the Sharingan genjutsu. Another visual genjutsu is Temple of Nirvana, which is an A-rank technique that Kabuto used in the Chunin exams. It works by releasing feathers, which fall from the sky, and the more feathers one sees, the faster they fall asleep, which Sakura broke through chakra control along with Guy and Kakashi. There are also the Mangekyo genjutsu, unique for certain individuals, and those are Itachi's Tsukuyomi and Chisui's Kodo Matsukami. Both are extremely dangerous and effective against the right people. So, Tsukuyomi. It's a visual genjutsu in which Itachi places his enemy in a world where he controls time and space. In that world, days pass in a moment in the real world. Itachi used it on Kakashi, as we all saw, and he wrecked him easily. And Yashiro too, for 3 days, where it lasted for a second. It usually has no physical damage, even though in most cases it is used to create illusions of the victim being physically tortured. The effects may vary not on the physical strength of any person, but on the mental strength of an individual. In Yashiro's case, he was driven insane and begged for death, but in Kakashi's case, he was hospitalized and required Tsunade's expertise to wake up again, and even Kisame was surprised that Kakashi was still standing. Which means Itachi actually used it with killer intent, but I'll leave it for another video. Itachi stated that it could only be broken with a Mangekyo. He told Sasuke that he stood no chance against him, but was then broken by Sasuke's sheer strength in his base Mangekyo Sharingan. He didn't let him break out of it. Now I'm gonna be talking about Kodo Matsukami. It's the genjutsu hailed as the strongest, and for good reason. It doesn't go through the chakra network but directly targets the brain. No eye contact needed, and it doesn't have to be visible to be activated. The target of this genjutsu has phantom experiences created in order for them to be manipulated, and they would be unaware of it. However, Mifune was alerted of Danzo manipulating him, and he showed signs of awareness, meaning it could be sort of broken by the partner method, I guess, which I'll talk about in a bit. The biggest downside of this genjutsu is its cooldown. It takes 10 years to recharge, unless one has Hashirama cells, which Nook says is the anti-plot hole formula, which I agree with. In which case, they could use it once a day like Danzo did, which is ridiculous. Also, Obito being able to manipulate a perfect Jinchuriki, I guess, but let's not talk about it. It's also worth mentioning that this genjutsu is so effective that it broke Itachi out of Kabuto's Edo Tensei and gave him control over his body. That's how powerful it could be. And then there's the sound genjutsu. It's a genjutsu that is applied through one's hearing, so the genjutsu comes in the form of sound. Best examples would be Tayuya's Chains of Fantasia or Fukasaku and Shima's Toad Confrontation Chant. They're pretty simple. Tayuya uses her flute to cast the genjutsu, whereas Fukasaku and Shima sing in order to cast it. Sound genjutsu is a type of genjutsu that can be countered by Sharingan, making it an effective counter even for Uchiha genjutsu specialists like Itachi. There are also some genjutsu that work on 1 or 2 senses, and this personally confuses me since it's mostly low-class genjutsu that is used for strategic purposes, and somehow the enemy doesn't figure it out despite them being good at chakra control to resist the genjutsu, with such low chakra poured into it. Like the one Sasuke used on Danzo to trick him into thinking he has more time with his Izanagi. And now for how to counter genjutsu. Countering genjutsu doesn't require one to be good at it. but it depends on how much chakra one has, their control over it, and or having another partner. Pain could also break the person out of a genjutsu, and I mean physical pain, not pain, as long as it wasn't caused by the genjutsu itself. Also possibly sage mode, which I explained in my previous video. Now, how does having a lot of chakra make it harder for a genjutsu user to cast the genjutsu? Well, the person needs to pour chakra into their genjutsu to manipulate their opponent's chakra flow. It's only logical they'd need more chakra in order to manipulate more chakra. This was seen when Sasuke used genjutsu on C, but didn't use it on the Raikage, who was looking directly into his eyes, and Karin later noted that he has a lot of chakra, so Sasuke probably knew it wouldn't affect him. Also, to break out of a genjutsu, one must have good chakra control to stop their chakra flow, thus breaking the genjutsu or the caster's control over their chakra network. If a person has a lot of chakra but no good control over it, breaking out of it is almost impossible. If that wasn't possible, then having a partner to disrupt it is another solution, which is how perfect Jinchuriki do it, with their partners supplying them with that necessary chakra. I won't be talking about Infinite Tsukiyomi because it's just broken. And that's about all I could find about genjutsu and the things I found important to mention. Hope you found it useful, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.